G'day. It's Fish, the Beach Bum Investor. Happy Valentine's Day. It's the 14th of February 2018. For all those romantics out there. Crypto economy's been fairly steady over the last 24 hours. Some more bullish predictions starting to appear again. A lot of people were getting real bearish, predicting some low downsides around the 3,500 marks I saw some analysts talking about. But some more bullish predictions are starting to come into the crypto economy again. Case in point, the article that I found on CNBC this morning. So we're going to pop over there and take a look at that, and we'll pop into the chat and see who's in. Okay. Cryptocurrency market will hit 1 trillion valuation this year, CEO of Top Exchange says. Jesse Powell, founder and CEO of Kraken, said Tuesday that the cryptocurrency market would continue to see an acceleration of growth. Asked whether he thought the market capitalization of all cryptocurrencies would hit the $1 trillion mark in 2018, Powell agreed. The entire cryptocurrency market will reach a total value of $1 trillion this year, according to chief executive of a top digital currency exchange. Jesse Powell, founder and CEO of Kraken, said Tuesday that the cryptocurrency market will continue to see an acceleration of growth despite a sharp pullback in recent weeks. He told CNBC, "You've got a lot more kids graduating from crypto programs at university now. I think we're going to see it continue exponentially from here." Asked whether he thought the market capitalization of all cryptocurrencies would hit the $1 trillion mark in 2018, Powell agreed. The current market cap of all cryptocurrencies stands at $417 billion, according to data from industry website CoinMarketCap. It hit an all-time high of more than $800 billion in early January before falling dramatically as a result of a huge cryptocurrency sell-off. Traders have been wary of regulatory signals recently as government ministers in South Korea and India have both upped their rhetoric against virtual currencies. On Monday, 3 top European Union regulators issued a warning to consumers about the risks associated with buying cryptocurrencies. However, cryptocurrency enthusiasts seem to be mostly positive about a hearing of cryptocurrencies held by the US Senate Banking, Housing and Urban Affairs Committee last week. That's not super bullish. I guess that article reflects the mood of the market a little bit. It's not super bullish, but it's good to see it back being predicted, those sort of $1 trillion market caps by the end of 2018. Floyd's in. Wilkie said 1 trillion profit. He said it'll be above and beyond that. Dilly Dilly's in and typed Dilly Dilly's own name. Yeah. It's not that cryptic, Dilly Dilly. I figured you were the same Dilly Dilly from Discord. One has a space in it, one doesn't. Wilkie, IOTA will crack that itself. Go away, Wilkie. Stop shilling IOTA. Hourglass, I said hola or holla. Sorry. Wilkie, is that Lee? Is that, have you changed your name for some reason, Wilkie? We'll crack 1 trillion by June. Primal Jane's in. Good evening to you, Jane. Eric Meds, let's go to 1 trillion plus. You know, those bullish estimates are starting to come out again, which is good to see. You guys check out that GDAX award today. Sell was at 55. Sell wall was 55 BTC. 55 BTC. Yep, it's a solid sell wall. No, I didn't actually watch that. I haven't actually checked crypto. I've been distributing Gladius, guys. So that reminds me, if you did get into the Gladius ICO, I have been distributing that this morning. So please contact me with your Ether address. If you're happy just to wait until the vesting period's over and receive it all in one hit, that's fine as well. Just let me know. But I've started distributing that this morning. And also I've registered for an ICO and put forward our interest based on the interest I've seen in the group so far. You guys know the one I'm talking about. I'm not going to leak that here before we go and secure our spot, but I've contacted the team there this morning, said that we've got a reasonable investment, being modest, to look at putting in there. So yeah, we'll see how we go. See what reply we get and see what the token metrics are like, and we'll go from there. Viper GRM. There you go. Good to see you. Jeeben, back. Fish, what do you think about Maker DAO stablecoin at DAI? Volumes on Maker DAO day as stablecoin pegged to US dollars are blowing up this week. From what I've seen and read, it looks like it could be the successor to Tether if that all falls over. They seem to be, from what I've read, I haven't really looked deeply into it, but seem to be having more success with their stablecoin. So yeah, the problem with me with Tether is that it's so easy just to put all the speculation to rest with that external audit. So I can't understand why they don't just do that. And that to me is suspicious, which means I'm not putting money into Tether. Yeah, G-Ben said in terms of making DAO, the DAI coin, DAI, being a stable coin, looks good to usurp Tether, especially if Tether's books don't end up adding up, which I'm suspicious of simply because they're not making them. They claim on their website, and I believe in the white paper as well, that it was all going to be very transparent, and it's been anything but that. So yeah, that's it, Wilkie. Mate, how stringent is their auditing? It's about as stringent as when Coinbase cleared themselves of any internal trading. How can you do an audit on yourself? There was clearly someone who knew that Bitcoin Cash was getting listed on Coinbase before it happened. Go look at the trade volumes. So people knew beforehand, but they cleared themselves. So that gives me, I can breathe a sigh of relief. Same as Tether, they've audited themselves, so I'm all good. Not. Our guy said I'm long term in Tether. Said no one ever. Exactly. Yeah, it's a bit of a red flag for me. I don't want to see people lose money, so I hope that it doesn't fall apart, and I hope that I'm just being paranoid. But that's reasonable for me to say, why can't, how difficult is it to get an external audit? Bank account, coins in circulation. Oh, the two figures are the same. Stamp of approval. I've said it before. It's that easy. So why don't they just do it? Let's have a look at the economy, shall we? See how we're trending. I haven't had much of a look this morning either, so come over to screen share and we'll do a update on coin market cap and see where the winners and losers are today. Okie dokie. Yeah, last hour starting to come back in preparation for fish coming on, as you can see. 422. So that's not too bad. What were we, 430? Around that, 427, 430 like yesterday. So yeah, a slight downward trend over the last 24 hours, as is shown here in the top 5 coins, all taking a bit of a hit since yesterday, since we first checked. Stella's been one that's been bucking the trend nicely, up at 40 cents. Some people are talking about a flipping between Stellar and Ripple. When we get back to the chat, I'll ask for your comments on that as well. Possible, not possible? Litecoin's been brilliant. In terms of the top coins, it's been really, really strong. I think it's bullish signs for Litecoin. I think it could pop soon, like we were talking about yesterday. Go back up above 200 perhaps. We'll see what happens. Yeah, it's just taken a little bit back since yesterday, one we've been keeping an eye on. Coming down the market. Whoa, Ether Classic. Making some really, really good gains. 21% in the last 24 hours. Good to see for the Ether Classic diehards. The big supporters of that. Lisk down a little bit, taking back some of that profit. It's been fairly solid all up though. Tron's trending down. See, I sold this at I think it was 5 cents to get into Icon at $1.20. So it, for a while I looked a bit silly because this went right up and Icon wasn't doing much, but obviously now it's been a real good switch because that's dropped 20% since I sold it, and this has gained 3x. So yeah, good move for me. Icon itself, though, is actually struggling to regain any sort of strength. I thought this sort of price would get gobbled up, and it just hasn't. We'll see what happens there. perhaps just people getting a little bored, a little bit unimpressed with the overall annual summit and the initial coins that have been announced on the Icon platform. But yeah, I still like it. I have no regrets about putting this in my top 5 for 2018. I think it's going to be a grower. I really do. See what happens. Qtum's been strong, coming back. Oh, Ucash taking a dive. I did suggest that maybe this up at around, what did it get up to, guys? 1.6 billion? Well, it was over 1 billion anyway, and I suggested how is that a $1 billion company? It looks okay for early stages of payment solutions, I guess, but geez, $1 billion? No, not at this stage. So I'm not surprised to see that sort of retracement there. This is Maker that we were talking about. Maker DAO with the DAI stability coin. Just looking for other big movers. Z Classic, guys, if you don't know what this is about, it turns out I was incorrect. Like when people started saying, oh, what do you think of Bitcoin private fish? I said, well, I assume it's another fork of Bitcoin and I don't care. It's actually going to be a fork of Z Classic. Now, I imagine that this has a lot to do with upcoming block number for a snapshot where people are actually going to get free Bitcoin private. I still don't really understand the fork. Z Classic forked from Zcash. And then Zen Coin, wherever it is, I'll go and find it if I can, forked from Z Classic. And now we've got another fork from Z Classic in Bitcoin private. I really need to understand why all these forks are happening from these coins before I'd invest in any of them, to be honest. I'm not a huge fan of Zcash because of the 20% block reward going back to the founders still. I believe that's correct. I'll have to double check on that figure, and I'll have to check if that's still going, but I believe it is. The other thing is that Z Classic forked from that, but then the guy who started Z Classic went to Zen, and then he went to Bitcoin Cash, the developer from MIT. I forget his name. So I'm not a fan really of any of the projects. And so for me, I would expect to see Z Classic actually dump after the snapshot. So, look, I could be wrong, but I wouldn't be advising a buy right there. I've seen predictions, just to balance this out. I've seen predictions of Z Classic hitting $400 this year. Okay, so that's hopefully gives you a bit of balance on that. So if you're a bull on Z Classic, that gives you something to hope for. Someone's written an analysis that gets it to $400. I can't remember. I'd link that up if I could, but I read it probably a month ago. But for me personally, just on the history of Z Classic, like why did Zencash need to fork? Why does Bitcoin private need to fork from Z Classic? I'd have to understand all these things. And plus the MIT guy going over to Bitcoin Cash, their lead developer, I was just like, what? Not a fan. So yeah, that was one of the big movers. Thought I'd just point that one out. All right, I'm going to come back to the chat and see what you guys are talking about. Just wanted to have a quick look at the market, but it looks pretty good, all in all. I wanted to see some consolidation, some sideways action, and we're certainly getting that. So I'm pretty happy. All right, let's see what everyone's saying. Zhao's in, Rocket's in. Take a look at the 10-year bond rate, says Rocket. Doesn't really affect me here in Australia. Sorry to be rude. GS said, scarn fish. It's going good, GS. It's going real good, mate. Probably a fellow Aussie with a greeting like that. So I don't know if I should throw all my tax returns in ICX. Ha ha ha. I did not expect it to dump so hard. Yeah, I was just saying that. I'm sure you said it before me. Okay, Wilkie says, yeah, ICX will be back. They've just taken too long. A lot of people thought the mainnet launch indicated that they'll be able to get ICX native coin and access to wallets, staking, etc. Market is very impatient. Wilkie, you are the most impatient prick in the market. What the hell are you talking about? Just Just because you've got a massive bag of it, you're not impatient, and everyone else is naughty for being impatient. Wilkie, I'm on to you. Wilkie makes a good point. It is an impatient market. It's a fast-moving market, and if you're not constantly developing, and if you're missing development targets, and if you have teething issues with the implementation of any new technology or software, the market tends to respond pretty harshly. So we've seen it many times. So Wilkie makes a good point. Wilkie, I don't know about staking on ICX. Where are you getting that information from? I thought that was all up in the air. Have you got actual qualified information to say that we'll be able to stake our ICX and earn a residual? I know that it was in the cards, but I didn't think it had ever a grower, not a shower, just like fish. Yeah, righto. Yeah, if you've got any actual info to say that they are going to, it's going to be a residual income token, I'm pretty stoked about that, obviously. Got a decent sized bag. Chikai Hinahara's in. Grinker said, isn't 5150 a Van Halen song or something? And a guitar amp? Yeah, but it's also a law about, it's the call out code for, disturbance by, I think it's like a mental, disturbance by someone who has mental disorder or something like that. It's like a police call thing. Like if they're calling a 5150, it's a call to a mentally disturbed person. So Chikai is suggesting that I'm mentally disturbed, and I agree. Our guy said, yeah, I don't know about putting ICX in Mu. Icon needs a dedicated wallet by this time with their millions of dollars. Yeah, everyone's tending to agree, Hourglass. I think that's why Wilkie's right. You're right. I think that's why we've dumped down to $4. People expected it to be further progressed from here. So I can understand it, but what have they got? 300 engineers? Something like that, who have consulted and worked for the Icon team. I've got very little doubt that we'll see that integration soon and move on to deciding what ICOs we want to get into on the Icon platform. Hopefully they've got some really, really good projects coming up there. I won't be throwing money just at anything. I'll keep my Icon if I don't think I can outpace it. Wilkie said the other day Binance was down and my Ether wallet was having drama. Was like, well, F, where do I put it? Where do I put it that's safe? It's a good question, man. Yeah, Jao said classical dump hard and lose interest after the snapshot. Exactly. There's nowhere. We're stuck stupid. Jao said, yeah, I can bet on that. Laugh out loud. Naughty O's in. Both classics are moving. It's a classic day. GS, hey, I'm a bit worried if I go deep into hoarding crypto on American exchanges and some Australian American policy change or regulations tighten in a way that I can't transfer them to AUD. Okay. Crypto on American exchanges. The thing is, GS, if an exchange, if an exchange, like a really good exchange was running out of the US and the US government came in and said, nope, no more exchanges, they'd move it to Portugal, right, Xiao? Or they'd move it to a crypto-friendly place. Like, where's the government, like the Prime Minister, a developer? I can't remember. They were going to be one of the first fully crypto countries. It was one of the smaller countries, can't remember the place. But yeah, so you move it to a crypto-friendly state, man. If America closes it down, therefore you can still service your customers. The big problem with transferring it into Australian dollars will be if all the banks. GS, I've got a smaller bank account. I'm not with one of the big four, but they put the squeeze on the big four banks in Australia. They said they've started freezing accounts for anyone who made crypto transfers. I'll have to check whether that's been altered or whether they're holding that stance. But I do know that I can get money out in a couple of ways. One being to pay bills with it through BPay, through Living Room and Satoshi, and the second way being to actually move it into a banking account, or to my bank account, because I'm not with one of the big four. But yeah, no, those regulations to do with exchanges. unless every government in the world decides to close down exchanges, you should be able to get your currency out because they'll just move the exchange. Binance moved. Binance are in Japan now, I think. They're in China. China banned exchanges. They moved to Japan. They're still one of the biggest crypto exchanges in the world. So it was either Japan or Hong Kong. I can't remember. They moved is the point. So yeah, exchanges can just move if they get tied down in that particular jurisdiction. And I don't ever see a time where every government in the world is going to ban it. Some government will see that as an opportunity. So yeah, I think you're fine with that. The big question is, can you keep getting it into your Australian dollars? Because that's where governments really can squeeze down on bank accounts and things like that. And that's why I see it as so important to increase the availability of places that are accepting crypto and the services that you can purchase and the goods and services that you can purchase. Because if we can, like if I can purchase my breakfast with crypto, if I can buy my bodyboarding stuff with crypto, if I can pay my bills with crypto to pay for my electricity, etc., I don't need fiat anymore if I can do all that. So you can stop me getting my crypto back into fiat. It doesn't bother me. There's plenty of merchants and people who accept crypto. So I don't need your dollars anymore. That's fine. Take the account. Keep it. You know what I mean? So that's why it's so important for me that we actually get the end game sorted out. And I know that's somewhat of a controversial view because it allows more dumping of the currency if you've got more exit points than entry points. But I envisage a time where we can live within the crypto ecosystem entirely without actually coming back into fiat at any stage. So to do that, we really need to have more and more places accepting crypto as a form of payment. Thanks for letting me have a rant. Promise that's the last one for today. Just kidding. I'll probably go on several more. A week in crypto is like a month anywhere else. If you look at it each day, look once a week and you'll probably miss a couple of panic days. Yeah, for sure. Well, Jiao's got a bit of advice. He said, just hold on an Ether wallet. You have a private key. My Ether wallet is just an interface. Yeah. Piss off, Noddy. He goes, we, the 18 that show, did mention E-Classic. There's 31 people here, so And if you think Noddy owes a dick, hit the like button. Cheer, Kai Hinahara. Crypto gets everyone mentally disabled. For sure, man. Look at me. Actually, I think I've progressed. If you go and have a look at my early videos, I look really scruffy. Got a mad beard going on in some of those videos. So maybe I've cleaned up a bit thanks to crypto. In Neo News, Ontology will be airdropping coins to all Neo holders. 0.2 Ontology per Neo. Sweet. Does that, Hourglass, is that just in wallet or in exchanges as well? Because I got a bunch of Neo on exchanges that I'm trading. So I'll move that back into the wallet if it's only for the wallet. Can you please let me know? Thank you. Kurt, Dogecoin going to $500 tomorrow. Excellent. Excellent comment, Kurt. Well done. Realistic. I like it. Yeah, I posted on Airdrop channel, 50% will be locked for the mainnet. Cool. Fisho is like Jesus. You could imagine him emptying a bucket of PIVX instead of fish for everyone. Yeah, but if I keep doing that, my PIVX bucket will get smaller and smaller. I'm not capable of making one PIVX into many. So I will do it as I get staking rewards and as I get some sales, because I'm sending my coins over to Malaysia today, like the big bulk of them, so we can open up that coin store. So yeah, if I make any sales there, that's money I can give away as well. Jesus coin is up 500% today. That's crazy. Decentralized Jesus. Yeah, that's the insanest idea I've ever heard. Okay. Maybe fish can dye his beard and hair grey. Well, there's a few greys starting to come through, as was pointed out to me very recently. Chikai Hinahara said it's Hong Kong where Binance is. Thanks, man. I knew it was one of the two. I'm sure the masses would come if Fisho did that. It'll be like Life of Fish. Come on. All the info about the OnTodge Neo airdrop is on Airdrop's channel. Thanks, Xiao. D could be Judith. She's not going to like that. Brian Moore. America will never shut down exchanges. If Hillary was elected, then we would have to worry. My opinion, America is on board with crypto. Yes and no, Brian. I think they're dead set against ICOs, and I think we'll see a shutdown of that of ICO that aren't registered, as a security. I think we will eventually see a shutdown of that. But there were definitely some bullish comments out of that Senate meeting. We shouldn't be too negative on it, There was some good stuff talking about how we owe it to this generation. How hard is it to get people to save, especially young people? And if you see crypto as a legitimate form of currency, then people finding more and more money to put into it is actually at least changing their habits somewhat into constantly saving instead of constantly spending like I did when I was that age. 2018 is going to be a party for crypto holders who are in good projects. I was under the impression after recent events the states were pretty crypto friendly. Yeah, well, sort of agree and disagree on that, Wilkie. Noddy hit the like button. We got 3 likes after I said that, Noddy-O. Said hit the like button if you think Noddy-O's a dick. 3 extra likes, therefore you're a dick times 3. Temple Ray, after the 16th when China New Year is over, do you think cryptocurrency will go on a bull run? Temple Ray, it feels like the quiet before the storm right now, because for it to be stable this long in crypto and trade within a fairly tight range over the last 3 or 4 days, it generally doesn't stay like that for too long. Now, is it going to be bull time or bear time? Is it a bull trap, or are we actually going to hit a bull market? It's difficult to say. We do have some events to keep an eye out for, like Chinese New Year, which does traditionally put some money into, people give each other the red envelopes and give each other money. So potentially some of that will come into crypto, but it's very, very difficult for China to get anything into crypto at the moment. They've got to do it illegally, essentially, if you're a Chinese citizen. So no, I don't think that's going to be as big of an event as it once was. But some of it will still flow in because there'll be some Chinese people who do circumvent the law to get into crypto. Eric Meds, I think you've done well, man. I can't, in terms of value, because I'm not going to talk about PIVX price. But in terms of value, I think you've done well. Eric Meds picked up a bunch of PIVX recently. I've just been staking, converting more and more of my profits from other coins into PIV. Grinker's got me jealous when he told me how close he was to a masternode, and I said, that's it, catch up time. Jesus will rise for Easter, said Seb Fox. Lithium Core's in. Oi, mate. Bryn said, still haven't had a look at PIVX. Sorry. That's okay. There's plenty of coins out there to take a look at. When you are making your way through to privacy, proof of stake coins, and coins breaking new ground in the economy, feel free to check out pivx.org. Oh, that was a shameless plug. I'm going to go with it though. For those of you who aren't aware, I do work at the PIVX team. I've received budgets from the PIVX team. Full disclosure, investor there, all that sort of stuff, just to let you know. I'm sure most of you are aware of that by now, but just in case there's any first timers. Noddy said, I think there's quite a few Americans leaving the US. Defection, just like was in the USSR. Interesting. Fish is dropping airdrop? Pick me. No, I'm not doing airdrops, man. Oh, you heard Ron. Cool. Yeah. No, I'm waiting. I gotta get some staking bonuses at Lithium Core, or sell some coins, and then I'll give away some more PIVX. Yeah. Well, I mean, there's a reason. I don't want to sound like a conspiracy theorist, and I'm well aware that at the moment you're not being realistic if you can say I can live my whole life on crypto, because most of the crypto cards are changing. They're a gateway. You're not actually spending crypto when you use a debit like a crypto debit card. You're spending US dollars. They're just like a middleman charging you for the privilege. So until we actually go, okay, I'm going to go down to the store and I'm going to buy, I'm going to buy a milkshake. Okay, I'm going to go get myself a banana smoothie down at the store. And the owner says, okay, that'll be, 1 PIV, thanks. That's 1 PIV for the smoothie. I'm like, sweet. Now, until the owner can then go and go, all right, I've got to buy the honey for 0.01 of a PIV. I've got to buy this for the bananas, the milk. Until they can buy all that with PIV and we can keep an economy circulating with it in itself outside of fiat, then it's not realistic to say I can live completely off crypto. No, you're still relying on third parties to act as an intermediary between that and the fiat game to what people will actually accept. And that's even what I'm going to have to do with like the PIVX payment system I'm working on, is have an intermediary that converts it back into Australian dollars for PIVX payments in Australia. And that's fine. That's where we're at the moment. And we still need to progress through that step to get to the eventual goal of the economy being sustained within itself. So we're not talking dollars anymore. We're not talking we've got this many. You might talk PIVX, you might talk BTC, Litecoin. But that's going to become more relative to you, my dream is, than the actual dollar value. And yeah, so that's how we build the economy, is by people actually accepting it for goods and services. That's my opinion. I think Neo airdrop will only work in wallets. Zhao, do you know when Ontology airdrop is? I think it's 1st of March. Zhao said it works on addresses, not wallets. So I think Zhao's insinuating that the exchanges will be fine. And now I have lost where I was up to in the chat. Sorry about that. Nodio, Brock Pierce and his mates are building a massive crypto haven in Puerto Rico. It's going to be a huge community that will be like a tax haven, as long as you live there for at least 186 days. What's that? 186 days is 6 months. It's a little over. That's interesting. No, I can't really. Can it get back in the game? Yeah, exactly. No, you're right, Wilkie. You were right. You're bringing up the same point I was. Probably earlier, but I'm catching up. I'm looking into Masternode. ODN, King Azul. ODN, which one's that, man? ODN. Let me just bring up CoinMarketCap on my other computer. Tell you what, it's the first recommendation we've had today. Not a recommendation, just someone saying they're interested in it. Please, this is not recommendations. This is not financial advice. This is a discussion. Information, entertainment only. So I'm just going to look up ODN here and see what King Azul's into. Can't remember. It's hard to remember all the trade symbols. ODN is Obsidian. Okay, I've been hearing a bit about it. I'm not sure whether we actually ever looked at it on the show. Obsidian. Is that the messaging one? The messaging service? Decentralized messaging? I think it is. Let's have a look. Let's go and have a look at our first coin together on the show today. Probably our only one for today. But I think Obsidian is decentralized messaging from memory, but I could be completely wrong. So let's go and embarrass myself and my memory by looking at Obsidian on CoinMarketCap. Of course, we'll follow through to the website. Now, if you are looking to invest, you're going to need to do a lot more thorough research than what we're about to do here. This is just a general idea. So obviously a proof of stake coin, given that King Azul is going to be running a masternode. You can see here it's come down 7% in the last 24 hours against the US dollar, 4,732 Satoshi. It's a small market cap, only 10 million. So low market cap coin, high risk, high reward. May never get adopted and fall into obscurity, may become hugely adopted if it's what I'm thinking is a messaging service. And this goes to, $1 billion valuation. So it's one of those really, really high risk, high rewards. Usually with these ones, I don't put too much in. The higher the risk is, the less that I invest. I put my more capital in the lower risk, not necessarily the highest return, but the lowest risk. You can see here it pumped in sort of December with the rest of the market. Actually had the majority of its pump in January, a little bit behind the rest of the market if you look at that, I think. Maybe just, yeah. Anyway, it has trailed off since and come way back down to November prices, so all close to it. So pre-pump prices, let's have a look what it's all about. Check the markets first. It is on Cryptopia, HitBTC, and CSEX. Let's have a look. I'm sure it's messaging. I'm going to be so wrong. You watch this. Obsidian platform. Obsidian is a C+ blockchain based on Stratcoin by Stratus. The coin is the power supply behind our flagship app, this Obsidian Secure Messenger. OSM is an ever-evolving platform with a focus on secure and private communications, simplified money transfers, and bot API integration. This is not just a messenger, but a multifunctional central part of an ecosystem. 10% annual proof of stake. That's getting a little on the high side, but it's not alarming yet. I'm okay with that, depending on, we'll have to go and have a look at exactly how that 10% is distributed. It's a little high, but it's not super alarming like some that we see. Future masternode implementation. I don't know what this is. C-hash, is that it? C-hash Stratus Core. Anonymous and secure messaging. .NET compatibility, standalone blockchain. Cool. The wallets are available, so that's probably a good idea. Go and download the wallet, have a play around with it if you're interested in Obsidian. That's probably going to give you as much information, if not more, than the actual researching of the team. White paper will be a very good thing to read down here. Okay. But yeah, decentralized messaging service. I think it's going to be more and more desired as people understand, like not necessarily Obsidian itself, it could be, but I think decentralized messaging services are going to be more and more desired as people realize the potential security threats of having information stored with companies like WhatsApp. Superheart.org is in, shilling the crap out of Tron. Someone made a good point about that the other day, though. Superheart.org. If you like, I've got to be honest about what I think. It's still an ERC20 token, right? Similar to Icon, but I believe they're even further away from actually having a mainnet and that token integration. So it's still a lot of development to go. I mean, it's a lofty ambition for sure. If they get it right, valuation will well and truly surpass where it is today. But I just feel like there's a long way to go on that project. Temple Race said, did you ever look any more into Pillar? Not that I can remember. Obviously look at a lot of coins, but not that I can remember. It's bigger than what I thought. They want to be like the next Google. They're going to have their own search engine also. That's pretty cool. Where else did I see one doing a search engine? I can't remember. It might have been Pillar. It might have been Pillar, but I don't remember specifically looking into Pillar. Giving Tree Cultivator, EcoLink partnering with Neo and Ontology. Service for verified credentials, skills, education, etc., and notary service. EKO hasn't recovered from the dip. Interesting. Seb says Byteball chart looks pretty constructive. King Azol was just confirming that it was Obsidian. Your thought if Tron has a chance to come back? Question from Florida. Thanks, Fish. Good on you, Jimmy. Jimmy Whitfield from Florida. Yeah, it definitely has a chance to come back. The development work has to match the price, is where we're going with that. It was certainly well publicized. Excellent marketing, no doubt about it. But now we need to see, like I've said, we need to see the blockchain built, some applications being developed on top of that. We need to see the Tron network actually proving that it's going to do what the ambition is. And once we get to that stage, we can certainly warrant these valuations and much higher. The question is, are they going to get there? And that's for you to decide. Me personally, I'm not invested in Tron. It left a sour taste in my mouth when there was plagiarism in the white paper. So I've left it alone for that reason. And also, I've looked more heavily into projects that have perhaps eased off on marketing a little bit and focused more on actually building partnerships and getting the blockchain built. Like Icon had that many partnerships before they even went into ICO. It was crazy. And if you go and have a look at like Icon's homepage, Icon Foundation, I think it is, icon.foundation or something like that. If you go and have a look at that, the number of partners they've got, and you will recognize the names of partners, you'll be like, holy crap. So yeah, for me, that's more important than like getting out there and telling everyone how good it can be. And to me, that I'm getting more and more wary of projects that are advertising heavily without actually having like a massive plan in place. Not a massive plan, because they had a big plan, but without much actual development targets ticked off on that roadmap. I find it hard to just put money into stuff. And I'm a little bit the same with Cardano, even though I think that'll be brilliant. It's just like we're still throwing money at something with mainnet launch a long, long way away, as far as I know. So I know a lot of people don't like that, and they say, oh, well, it's angel investor money and this is what you have to do. And I agree. But still, I don't understand the market caps on some of these projects for the current stage of development. Yeah, Zhao's on Obsidian, said it's undervalued. Fish, what do you think about shorting well-known Ponzi scheme coins? Brilliant. To be honest, Warlord, if you've got the capital to hold out a pump, man, if you can do that, I don't know if you play margins or whatever, but yeah, absolutely. We should have all done it with BitConnect, shorted the crap out of it, and Devorcoin. I don't know if there's markets available to short those options though, with like BitConnect and Devorcoin. But yeah, absolutely. You know, if you've got the capital, because the pyramid can get bloody huge before it topples, right? Like an absolute hater, but there's other cryptos I prefer. 1.3 trillion, says Blue Collar Crypto. Joe's in the house. Fibman, 35813, just how the world works. Don't tell me the Fibonacci sequence, man. One of my favorites. Pillar is going to have their wallet demo on the 16th. Cool, Temple Ray. Thanks for keeping us up to date. Goodness, 2 days away. Be interesting to see what happens with Pillar there. Whether it spikes on the event, or quite often there's a sell-off on the event. So if you are looking to get into Pillar, maybe keep your eyes open on the 16th and see what happens with prices there. Because some people will sell off into an event. So you might be able to pick up some if you're interested in getting in. Oodles of quality projects under 20 million right now, so Giving Tree Cultivator. Yeah, and a lot of them, even though they're quality, they won't survive because of a lack of marketing and a lack of community building. So it's a fine line between what I see as overhyping an undeveloped project and actually getting support for longevity of your project. It's a fine line. Byteball has been strong, says Joe. I've been keeping a live stream of the price on my channel. Hopefully, it will gradually attract interest. I'm currently without a webcam, though. Oh, Joe, what happened to your webcam? Did you spill pizza on it? Yeah, I think it will, Joe. I think that if someone, if someone just set up basically a channel for all the top 100 cryptos, and it scrolled through automatically, like, I don't know, played some music in the background, that could do well. Maybe top 20. call it the top 20 graphs, and it just scrolls through one every 2 minutes or something. So every 2 hours you're scrolling through the whole lot. I don't know. It's not something I want to put together, but I think people will sit there and watch charts and listen to music for sure, because you just have it playing in the background, and every now and again you flick your head over. There was a statement from JP Morgan leaked, said, I think, middle of the night viewing that they will be getting into crypto more to diversify investments. If only a couple of percent market cap will explode. Yeah, I agree, Nadia. But you know what rumors are like in this economy, man. Unless we got validation on that, it's probably whispers put out by someone to start bullish news getting out there again. Fake news is just as bloody effective as actual news in this economy, arguably more so. Yeah, Joe's got Bitcoin and Byteball price analysis going on his channel at the moment on Blue Collar Crypto, because he can't get in for the combo at the moment. So if you want to, chill out and watch the charts, you're welcome to do that over there. Tan Kai Tong is in. He said, I'm here. Yeah, boy. Viper, GRM. Know anything about Luxcoin? Apparently, SegWit being added tomorrow. Very limited supply too. I'm sure we did have a look at it on the show once. Let me just pull up the Luxcoin info so I can refresh my memory. But I'm sure we have had a look at it. Luxcoin. Circulating supply of 1 million roughly, and total supply of 4 million. So a fair bit of inflation to come on that one. Let's go and have a quick look at the website and see if it jolts my memory of what this one's about. I'm sure we did look at this one once on the show before. Mark G, late to the chat. Bonjour. Bonjour, sir. I should say bonjour, monsieur, shouldn't I? Monsieur. First of its kind, smart contracts, SegWit, parallel masternodes, LuxGate. LuxCore is a blockchain solution and services ecosystem that focuses on designing and building enterprise-ready security and privacy products. The LuxCore platform relies on the groundbreaking PHI 1612 algorithm, and so on and so forth. Smart contracts, SegWit, parallel masternodes, LuxGate, proof of stake 2.0. Trying to remember the actual. I can't remember the actual inflation rate on this per annum. 120-second block times. Cool. I'd have to have a bit more look into it. I can't really remember. I thought I would. The name seems familiar to me, but just looking at the website, I can't actually remember it off the top of my head. Sorry about that one. How big is my memory? Well, I don't drink, so maybe that helps. I don't drink often. I shouldn't say I don't drink, because I do, just not often. Special occasions. Not an everyday drinker or anything. So maybe that helps. Salt water, I think, knocks it about a bit. Fries the old brain. Those who invested in new cash just lost 50% of their investment. Tankai Tong, I did warn people about it. I had a quick look at when it pumped, I had a quick look and said, yeah, okay, 10 million. Like if it was worth 10 million, it might be something interesting. I'm not trying to be rude. I was just like, I could not understand the valuation. And a similar thing happened with me with the eCoin. Again, I couldn't really understand those big pumps. So yeah, they potentially were coordinated. Stephen's in. Stephen Milner. Hi, Fish. Do you know anything about Ethereum Classic airdrop on 5th of March? Snapshot will occur on block 5.5 million, 5,500,000. No, I'd heard nothing about it. Had no idea it was coming. It's interesting though, Stephen Milner. What's the project getting airdropped, you know? What's the value proposition? Tron will be back at least after Chinese New Year, said Nodio. Oh, are they? Tonkai Tong said, Fish, big news. ASICs. So I can't remember what the actual things are, but specified mining equipment. Coming to Ether. That's interesting. Jump ship right now. They're going into proof of stake with sharding anyway. Tong. But I heard there was only plagiarism in that translated version of the Tron white paper, and that was done by volunteers. Yeah, Mark G, I understand that, but I still stand by my comments that there was a lot more promotional work done than actual development work. I stand by that. Did anyone hear that LightPay's white paper was 98% copied? LightPay. No, I hadn't heard that. Thanks, Nodio. And then you said Big Connect for God knows what reason. Wilkie said Tron. This again. I'm just reading comments, guys. So please don't hate me if you're a big Tron fan. Wilkie said Tron is the joke of the crypto world. CEO is a clown. Jeez. You don't hold back, do you, Wilkie? Oh, did my stream get taken down? Am I still down? Am I back? I don't even know. I'm going back. No, it says I'm live. I'm going to keep going. Let's see what happens. I'll get to the end of the comments. Warlord said, Big Connect took down Fish's stream. What am I going to do? Fish died. Fish just did an exit scam. I don't know if I'm still streaming. This will be interesting when I get to the end of the comments and try and figure it out. Just waiting for Trump to go up a bit, hodling a bag, but I first bought on the low after the white paper plagiarism surfaced. It's a good time, Mark G. Smart. Buy the fear. Now you're talking like JR school kids pumping Ponzi's. Tankai Tong. Anyway, Fish, check Discord. I posted a link to Ethereum ASIC on Discord. Will do. Thanks, Tankai Tong. Awesome. Kev's in, if I'm still here, which I have no idea. I could be talking to myself. That would be hilarious. I got Tron at 0.3. Lucky probably should have sold at 0.27. Just love the hodl. Not. Market moving sideways, good signs. Yeah, I like it, BP. I like the market action at the moment. I thought the Ucash IBO was brilliant. Don't pay for advertising. Pay people a bounty for posting Ucash on Facebook, IG, etc. Being Instagram, of course, because I'm such a social media expert. And for opening a wallets, etc. Get message out to more people faster and cheaper. Yeah, I mean, affiliate marketing works well. It's been proven to. Cost effective. There are so many projects out there that look much better than Tron. I don't have enough to invest of all of them, so I doubt I'll get to Tron unless it's for a short-term trade. Bryn said LTC is mooning. Yeah. I picked up some LTC at 114 or 124. We were talking about it. It seemed too cheap. Good to see that the LightPay system implementation, I hear it actually got pushed back a little bit, but it's coming this month, so should be good. That JP Morgan news wasn't by Trevon. It was by Crypto for the People, the big fella who's collecting crypto baby. I don't know what crypto babies are. He read out the leak statement. 2 other YouTubers had it too. Thanks, Noddy. Cool. Seb said, regarding Ucash, never invest in anything that has already pumped 1,500% in one day. I'd say that's very good advice, Seb. Ethereum Classic airdrop, no idea. Just saw a tweet 20 minutes ago. Thanks, Steve. Giving Tree Cultivator, Smart Cash took an epic plunge also from 1.6 billion to 168 million. Mark G said the Ucash valuation wasn't Ucash's fault. Met several members of their team on Monday. I believe them. Founders have been in the space for quite some time. We'll be on a couple more exchanges shortly. Thanks, man. Yeah, that's a good point, Mark G. Often the founders have nothing to do with it and can't help when their coin gets pumped and dumped. It's just a pump and dump group have chosen that coin. And sometimes it works because it works long term because it brings you into the top echelons of the market cap and people start paying attention to it. And then when it dips, they start to go, oh, it's 40% cheaper. You know, even if the pump was completely unorganic, they go, oh, it's 40% cheaper than highs. Now, highs are a great point to start your idea from because you're not at least not buying at all-time highs is a good starting point. But then you actually have to look at the high. How long it pumped for, how long it was sustained for, what sort of action it took on the way down, what the volume was when it pumped to its highs. Because if it's a quick spike that lasted half an hour, it's not really a high point. It's a false high. So you really need to look where there's a lot of volume being traded at a high level to actually call it a high point for a coin, in my opinion. You got to take that into account, guys. If you don't like Tron, you must really hate Dentacoin, or whichever it is. Yeah, I'm not a huge fan of it, but I haven't really looked into it. It's just I'm scared of dentists. Yeah, Litecoin's getting a lot of attention. John Doe, hey there, Fish. You have a big audience nowadays. I haven't seen you in ages, John Doe. Yeah, much bigger, man. Stoked. 1,600 subscribers or something. I was aiming for 1,000 in my entire YouTube career. So I can retire now. I've done that. On to the next thing. Ripple fanboys have to be the most annoying members of the crypto space. I don't hear too many of them these days. We don't get too many in our chat. Joey? Dentacoin is hot. I've got heaps good teeth for life, said Mark G. Mark G, ETC. Sorry, that was Nodio said about Dentacoin. Mark G, ETC on a nice pump. I know how much you guys love it. Laugh out loud. Heading towards 480,000 sats, another 20% from present price. I don't dislike Ethereum Classic. Part of me feels like they got the raw end of the deal. They kept the original chain and got burnt because people didn't want to be in an ecosystem where a hacker had a whole bunch of it. Brian Moore, thoughts on Neblio? Let me just refresh. I don't think it's one I've looked into heavily. Let me do a quick refresh on CoinMarketCap and get the homepage up and see if it rings any bells. I always get confused with Neblio and Neblius. You got to be careful with that in this crypto economy. Not only are there coins that have similar names, quite often the same trade symbol will get used on, like, this. The same symbol will get used for two different coins depending on which exchange it's on. So you got to be really careful when you're purchasing your coins. I often said that I thought the chain coin pump, most recent one, coinciding with the chain link pump, most recent one, was too much of a coincidence. And I think a lot of people were mistaking chain coin for chain link. Chain link being a fairly promising project, looking to solve the oracle's problem. Chain coin being a project that I am less than bullish on because of the lack of development work. Okay. Neblio, a secure distributed platform built for enterprise applications and services running on the Neblio blockchain network, open source blockchain solutions for business. I'm going to have a further look at it. It's not ringing bells straight off the... I don't think I've read the white paper on that one. Sorry. Sorry, Brian. Mark G, this is one that I asked about earlier. Might have been before you got into the chat. Mark's saying that Stellar XLM will pass XRP. I heard institutional money putting more money into XLM going forward. I asked the question. I said, is it going to happen? I got some Stellar. I don't have any Ripple. I got Ripple for a colleague who asked me to buy it for him, but I got no interest in it. But I'm not going to tell people how to, when someone buys me and says I want this, I'm going to, okay, that's fine. Your call. So yeah, I've got some sitting in an account, but it's not mine. But I do have some Stellar Lumens, which is mine. BP said XLM is a real sleeper in my opinion. I don't know how much of a sleeper it is, man. It's in the top 10. That's crazy to you. Would think Fish would have more people subscribe to him than Crypto Baller. The guy that's just out about scam lending platforms has about 20,000 people. Oh, Temple Ray, I blab on. No one likes this, man. Sitting around for an hour listening to my opinion, which quite often drifts off into politics and societal commentary. No one wants to listen to that shit. Oh, goodness. King Azul said, I bought Icon at all-time highs. King Azul, this is actually my Icon formula. That's the price we should go to, provided that everything recovers and Korea gets their KYCs done in at the bank. $30.73. I'm confident in that price point in the long term. So even if you bought it all-time highs, which was about $12, it never got as high as $30. So I still think you'll do about 2.5x on your original investment if you're prepared to wait. And a lot of analysts are actually saying a lot higher. Me, I'm going to stick with my $30 price prediction. Time frame, not really sure. I think we could potentially see that in a $1 trillion market cap by the end of the year. Yeah. If the 1 trillion market cap comes by the end of the year, I think Icon can hit these sorts of prices. I think it'd be a big beneficiary of new money coming in. Tell me about RPX. Bloomberg, this is SEO Greg Johnson. Tell me about RPX. Bloomberg had just partnered them and Binance just put them on exchange. Cool. They just got added to Binance, did they? Red Pulse, RPX, if I'm not mistaken. Red Pulse is the best way I can describe it is a news aggregation service for the financial industry in China. Okay, so it's been a while since I've looked at it, but the best way I can describe it is quite often incorrect financial information is leaked out of China in a deliberate attempt to manipulate markets. It gets done by mainstream media in China. They literally will discredit their own claims in the afternoon that they made in the morning to try and put some form of sanity and some sort of, to help stabilize the markets from false news like this. I believe what Red Pulse is doing is aggregating financial news. So people say this has happened, blah, 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 blah. It gets upvoted based on its accuracy. And there's a financial incentive through the network to provide accurate information and for the people curating it to upvote. Like, I'm just using Steam terms because that's how I sort of made it relevant in my mind. I was already blogging on steamit.com. I thought, this is like that, but for financial information out of China. That's kind of how I saw it. So I could have that completely wrong, and I'm hoping I've got RPX, I think is Red Pulse. But I haven't looked at it in some times. I was thinking about getting an ICO there and never did. But yeah, if all's going well with the platform, that's the problem. I've never actually got onto the Red Pulse platform and tried it or anything like that. But if all's going well, there is a definite need for decentralized financial news, because unfortunately the centralized version is bullshit. So yeah, I like Red Pulse, if that's the one we're talking about. I think it is with RPX. Correct me if I'm wrong. Thank you, SEO Greg Johnson. I haven't looked at it in a while though, man, so please forgive the very lay explanation of that one. LTC just hit 174. Hopefully BTC will go with it. That will put a smile on Hardy's face. Did it really? Did fish bite at the right time or what? I've just about doubled my money on that in, 5 days? Stoked. Oh, dear. Check out Jason3 on Twitter. He was part of a panel discussion at my Monday meetup in Toronto. Ucash is not a shitcoin. Thank you, Mark G. I didn't say it was a shitcoin, man. I never said it was a shitcoin. I said it was overpriced for what it was offering. Big difference. There are shitcoins out there. I've spoken about things that I think are shitcoins. Big connect. I'm not hugely fan on Chaincoin because of the lack of development. Fundamentals good on Chaincoin, but there's a lack of development. But I never called Ucash a shitcoin, but I do think it was overvalued for sure. I wouldn't be. I reckon even the developers would tell you that, man. They would have been going, "Holy crap! I never expected it to get this high on opening days." Mark G said, "I got into Nebula and I'm down 50%, but likely most likely of that is because of the BTC dip. Yeah, it's taken the whole economy down with it. Yeah, ha ha ha. Too many V and triangle symbols. I'm not sure which one we're talking about there, Mike. I'm so curious on what is going to happen with ADA. I think it'll be good long term, BP, but we're just going to have to wait a bit longer. BTG is going up as well. Bitcoin Gold, is it? Why would that be going up? Hey, Fish, Monaco is going to release their cards after CMY. Good investment if they keep their time. I don't know, man. Didn't they take all the value out of their token by having any sort of residual income going back to token holders completely wiped off the face of their system? I'm pretty sure they did. I'd rather hold, even though 10x are a little bit further behind probably in their card distribution, they're still promising a residual income to token holders. So Yeah, for me, Monaco sort of lost me a bit when they said, "Oh, we're gonna, this is our value proposition." I even invested at ICO on Monaco because it looked flashy for advertising. I thought if you're going to start a crypto debit card, that's pretty flashy. But then they came out and said, "Oh no residual income for token holders." I was like, "Okay, see you later." But it might go well, sure. XLM have IBM, mate. Naughty-O, the number of partnerships that have been announced with IBM and Microsoft, I'm starting to actually not throw a whole lot of weight when those partnerships get announced. Just doesn't seem that relevant when they're backing everything. Everyone loves to listen to YouTubers saying a lending ICO is going to the moon. Yeah. No, everyone wants to make quick money, yeah. And that's the thing. People get on here and I say, okay, guys, let's aim for 20% this year. And everyone goes, I'm going to go find someone who can make me $1,000 into $1 million. That's fine. Go chase that dream. I'm just hesitant on everything right now, as the market seems to be. Holding our breath to see if BTC goes to 5K or lower and drags 98% of the odds with it. Yeah, it's got to probably break through like 9.5. That's where the resistance seems to be. So if we crash through there, and like honestly, we'd have to go a fair way through there, like well over 10, probably into the 11s to actually start calling it bullish again. I only had a quick brief look at the chart though, guys. So. Also, people love scam lending platforms. They are really popular right up until they are not. Yeah, man. XLM is going to 150% one day. Yeah, I think it can do 150% from here for sure. I mean, especially when some like really strong applications start getting released on the Stellar Lumens platform, BP. It's what a lot of people forget about Stellar Lumens. Applications can be developed on top of it. Looked at Storm? Nah, I haven't much, G. Sorry, man. ADA will go up at least 38 cents. It's at 36 cents. Huge effort. I'd be sick if I bought it at $1.30. I could be dead by the time it gets back there. That's interesting, Nadia. Not sure it'll take quite that long. Then again, I don't know how old you are. And BP is just saying with Stellar, when I say it's a sleeper, I mean that it's just still sitting still, and we'll have 100% day where it pops real quick. That's all. I bought 88 2 and 10 cents. I looked at it at 1 cent and passed on it. I'm sick because I didn't sell at $1.36. BP, there'd be a lot of stories about that, about people who, you can't pick the top of the market though, man. The responsible thing is just to take some profit along the way. Don't try and pick the top of the market. And Mark G's still holding onto a dollar bag of ADA. So Crypto Wave Investment Crew got that all around the place, didn't they? Temple Ray, the people try to blame people when they lose their money on the scams. Yeah, I know. It's crazy. Sounds a lot like Crypto Calendar in a way to into Red Pulse. Okay, yeah, cool. I have a feeling that people will start to get sick of holding alts. They may, but BTC, it will move up, then dragging our alts with it. Hope then they will buy our 5X alts. That's the dream. No, I'm not saying you said it was a shit coin, just making a general statement. Yeah, cool, man. No worries, man. Yeah, I actually thought that it was pretty interesting. Ucash from the quick look I had at it, but it just seemed overvalued. Who you got pumping LTC, not any V28? What's it still going? Is it? Let's have a quick look, shall we, guys? Since there's a lot of focus on the LTC pump at the moment. Damn it, I should have named my stream LTC pumps and just totally Fistradamused it. Oh yeah, 172, nice. Nice. Oh, market's looking okay. I'm pretty happy with it. Good mix of green and red. Interesting to see which way our next trend is, whether we go back down to test out some of those low supports or whether we kick back onto some high points again. SEO Greg Johnson said, big connect. Everyone's, it's kind of like, in 10 years' time, it'll only be like the really people who got into early crypto that actually know the joke about that. People just go, what's up? I still want to do my Fish Connect thing. I'm just going to say it's not a lending platform. It's an honest Ponzi scheme where you send me money and I keep it. Fish Connect, coming soon. BTG is going up because it's on Exodus, not EO. Nothing in history has ever gone up because it's on Exodus. It's a shitty platform and no one cares about it. Temple Ray, Loopex was a scam. Also, I lost money on it. I'm done with the lending platforms. Probably for the best, Temple Ray. There's plenty of good projects. Look, I think there will be space for crypto lending in the future because if we're going to, I think it's an area of the financial industry that is currently serviced by the banks that we can perhaps do a better job of by ourselves. But I don't know that anyone's got it right yet. And some of them are clear Ponzi schemes. Some of them are not. Some of them are genuinely trying to like allow peer-to-peer lending to cut down the middleman costs on that. Because you think about it, if you've got a savings account at the bank in Australia, you're earning 2.5%. And they're taking that money, they're multiplying it by 10 for starters, and then they're actually loaning it out at maybe 4.5%, 4%. So we can cut out like 2%. And, you know, for me, on my home loan, that's a substantial amount a year. On what I've got left on my mortgage, that's worth saving. So I think there's room for that. I think there's room for a lending platform to come into the space. Someone's got to get it right. Flick is one of the worst coins I have read about yet. It is one of the few coins to be up. There you go. ETHLend has a good start, been holding it at 0.8. Noddio 9,400 is resistance line for BTC, says Noddio. Remember, fellas, Chinese New Year slows markets. A lot of people are not working. That's a good point. I'd rather hold Pillar. Pillar is my favorite alt, said Temple Ray. What's needed is a site like CoinMarketCap with all the shite coins clearly highlighted. Mike N, that is so funny that you should mention that. That was mentioned in our Discord group this morning. I kind of wish I hadn't read the comment out because someone's looking at doing that actually. GS, had much experience with independent reserve? No, I haven't. Sorry, GS. Sir God. Hey, mate, what's the quad concave for DK like? Quad concave? I haven't ridden with one. I've only ridden with the double concave and the single. And I find concaves, like, I don't know, I prefer like shallower channels even for drop me. But, you know, a couple of mates of mine have ridden with the concave and they reckon it's really good. One you can keep an eye out for is a polo slick. There's a couple of guys who started riding a polo slick, which is something that Redis did from Basic Bodyboards and Founder doing it as well. And it's like channels. So these are the channels of the board here. And it's channels that run the whole length of the board. And apparently they're pretty good. I've ridden one board with the Apollo slicks on it, but it was such a Frankenstein of a board, like asymmetric, rounded nose, all sorts of crazy things going on, that I really have no idea what part of that performance was being caused by those channels and what was by the crazy shape. But yeah, I got the Winnie, but it's just channels. Oh, is this a Winchester? Yeah, it is. That's the Dave Winchester one there. I got a brand new in the plastic. I got that one. But they're not a bad board. They're a really good DK board off the rack. I never used to ride them off the rack. I used to get customs, but I kept winning these in Gold Coast Bodyboarding Club. So I thought I'd start riding them, and they've turned out really well. Really versatile board. So sorry to get onto bodyboarding chat there for a while. Does happen from time to time. Noddio said, does anyone know when the futures date is this month? I've heard they've gone long this month. The start price was 10,900. Thought the date was 26th of Feb. That means the institutions will pump BTC. They want to be wrong. BTC 13.5 by the end of the month. That's interesting. That's what that Cliff Fire dude was saying. JP wants to be a guest on here. I'd love to have him on. Oh, you're a WW1 vet? Don't lie to me, Noddy. You're not, are you? No, World War One. You couldn't be. You'd be over 100. No, you'd be 20 years old. Go away. Stop teasing me live on TV and making me embarrassed by doing clearly unnecessary maths. Guy on my local Telegram group posted he lost a devastating amount of money. He couldn't afford to lose on his line of credit. He wasn't happy when someone responded, crypto is definitely a liability that you shouldn't be using. Another liability to invest in them. That's 100% true. I've said it before, Mark G. Don't invest with your credit card. If you can't afford to invest, don't invest. Guys, buy a Fish Connect. It will give you 5% every day and will be paid in a coin called FSH. Market it and earn up to 10% more. This is not a Ponzi scheme. I would never do that. Yeah, I think it would be as well, Nodio, saying that the shitcoin site would be huge. So, oh, did ya? Yeah, I'm just down the road from Cooley Hill GS, from Hill Street or Boundary Street, depending on which side of the hill you're on. That's just like, I don't know, 600, 700 meters that way. I'm just around on, behind Hungry Jack's. I don't want to give away my street address or something, but you'll know where that is if you're from the area. Hungry Jack's has been there for ages. So, yeah, no, I didn't surf this morning, man. It was garbage. It was ratty, small crap, and we got a big swell coming. So save my energy for that. Speaking of saving my energy, it's time for Fish to check out. I've got a bunch to do, guys. So I gotta go. I am distributing those Gladius tokens for anyone who did invest. Please contact me with your details over on Discord. Thank you all for. Nodio said, I'm actually Cliffire. I don't believe you. I'm going to go. So I will catch you tomorrow for another cryptocurrency conversation. Been fun, as always. If you're going to be investing, as always, only what you can afford to lose. Catch you tomorrow.